There's a bunch of crazy stories written by the Brothers Grimm. And now you're gonna learn all about them, listening to the Brothers Dim.
Students and scholars, friends and relations, welcome to the Brothers Dim podcast in which we look into the wild collection of sometimes weirdly religious tales curated by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm in the early 1800s in the far-off and untamed lands we now call Germany, including this week's tale, story number 82, Gamblin' Hansel. My name is Phil.
And my name is Mike.
Mike, how are you now?
I'm doing okay, although I realized while reading this, it's been a long time since I went gambling.
Oh, yeah?
How about
the
you?
Last time with...
Yeah, it was with you. Oh,
Okay.
No, you know what? No, I take that back. I went to Vegas. For a conference. I think I did a little gambling.
Well, following up on that then, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you know when to hold them?
I think I do.
Okay, and do you know, in fact, when to fold them?
I do, but I'm not as good at it.
Okay, well, yeah, neither am I. I start getting bored and then I start making stupid bets. But today we'll be delving into a story about a young man who did not know when to walk away or when to run. And he not a great gambler, in fact, at all. But we'll get into it. Do you have a grade?
I went with an A- here.
Okay, yeah.
I liked it.
I liked this one a lot, too. I was hovering around a B through the first half, but it just got so bananas at the end that I kicked it up a letter.
Yeah,
So, bananas is extra credit. I'll go A.
It doesn't particularly go anywhere that I care about, but it's funny. It's a little madcap. I had a hard time pulling a moral out of it.
Yeah, okay.
But I enjoyed it.
I have some thoughts on the moral. But that said, Mike, without further ado, if you would be so kind, would you please take us through the plot of Grimm story number 82, Gambling Hansel?
You got it. So there's a guy. His name is Hansel.
Okay.
He gambles so much, they call him Gambling Hansel.
That makes sense.
So it turns out he's not very good at it either. He's lost almost everything. His house is due to be repoed by the bank. Before this can happen, though, God and St. Peter, they disguise themselves. Remember St. Peter from last week?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he's kind of he's been a jerk lately.
He's kind of
being
a dick.
honest.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, God comes too. God and St. Peter, they disguise themselves, show up at his door, and they ask for shelter. And Hansel says, "Oh yeah, no, you're welcome to stay here. I don't really have anything to offer, though. I'm kind of on the outs." Peter gives him $3. Says, "Oh, why don't you go get us all a loaf of bread? We can have a nice meal together." So Hansel goes off and makes it just as far as the gambling hall.
Sure.
Where all his old gambling buddies are like, "Hey, do you want to lose that $3?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know I do."
So addiction.
Yeah. So he loses the money pretty quickly. Meanwhile, God and St. Peter are like, where'd the guy get off to? So they go looking for him. He sees them coming and he says, uh-oh. So he pretends he dropped the money in the gutter. He's pawing all around in the gutter trying to find it. And they come up and said, "Oh, you know what happened?" He's like, "Oh, I dropped the money in the gutter right out here in front of the gambling hall." "Oh, that's so strange. Well, here's another $3. Why don't you go get a loaf of bread?" So this time he manages to succeed, gets a loaf of bread. They all go back home. They're having a little meal. God says, "Hey, do you got any wine to go with this bread?" And Hansel's like, "Well, yeah, I mean, the casks are all dry downstairs. Not really anything." And God's like, "Why don't you go check just to be sure?" And so Hansel goes down, and sure enough, the taps are pouring the most delicious wine ever because God. They eat and be merry, and they head to bed. Next morning, God says that Hansel can beg 3 favors of him. This is where it gets a little confusing.
Right.
God is anticipating that he's going to ask him to be able to go to heaven. And this is a question for later, which is, when does Hansel realize that this is God? Unclear. Anyway, instead of asking him to go to heaven, he asks for much more lucrative things, or at least immediate things, which is he asks for a deck of trick cards that will always win. He asks for weighted dice that will always win, so that he can finally win at gambling. And then he asks for a fruit tree. It grows one of every kind of fruit there is, and a bonus feature, if anybody climbs up it, they can't climb back down until Hansel says that they can. Very specific. Almost like we'll need this later. God grants him these things. God and St. Peter fuck off, back up to heaven. Hansel gets to work. Soon he's won half of the world's riches. St. Peter looks down. He's like, "Dude, we gotta stop this guy, or he's gonna win everything. He's gonna end up winning heaven." So God sends Death down to claim him. Because I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Right.
Hansel sees Death coming and says, "Yeah, all right. Let me just finish this hand. In the meantime, why don't you go climb that tree and grab us some fruit while we wait?" So Death does that and gets stuck. No one on Earth dies for 7 years while Hansel leaves him there. Meanwhile, Peter's like, God, no one's dying, and Hansel's still at it. We should probably go take care of this ourselves. They leave heaven, they go back on down, and God's like, you let Death out of that tree right now, young man. And Hansel's like, oh, okay. Death, you can come out of the tree now. And wham, Death instantly takes him. They go up to heaven, and they knock on the gates. They're in heaven. They're like, yeah, nah, fuck right off with that guy. We don't need him. So then they go to purgatory. And Purgatory's like, yeah, I mean, we're not really good on the whole gambling thing. Why don't you keep going? So they go to hell. The devil's like, yeah, sure. We haven't had anyone in ages. It's been a while. At least 7 years.
Yeah.
As soon as he's in hell, Hansel starts gambling, wins all the devils from Satan with his fancy trick cards.
Sure.
So now, I mean, he's done with hell. He's conquered it. So Hansel and the devils, they head on back to Germany, where they find a big old pole, and they go smack the doors of heaven with it like a battering ram until they start to crack. God's like, Jesus, fine, come in then. So Hansel heads in and immediately basically turns heaven into a gambling den. Everybody's raucous and drinking and gambling. It's this loud, crazy party. They can't even hear themselves think. Peter's like, oh, God, come on, this is untenable. So they cast Hansel down, and his soul shatters into a zillion pieces, each of which now inhabits each and every gambling vagabond to this day. The end. So, yeah, as I mentioned, I was a little stuck on a moral. Do you have a moral? I mean, I know what I wrote down, but I don't think it's very good.
Yeah, I mean, you'd almost think it was don't gamble, but that's I don't think that's it. I think it's supposed to be maybe just gamble within your means if you can, but don't push it. Like if the house asks you to leave, just leave. There's no need to end up.
There's a sign.
Like that one fella in the film Casino, which I don't know if you've seen Casino, but if you'll remember. Oh, it was good.
But it's so generically named, I don't think I could remember it.
It was a Scorsese flick, and so Robert De Niro and Don Rickles are running a casino out in Vegas.
That sounds like a good time already.
It's super good. Don Rickles is like crazy good in this, and you're like, wait, Don Rickles, why are you being so serious? But so they're running a casino out in Vegas. There are some mob guys, and there's a scene where some guys tried to cheat the casino by playing blackjack, and De Niro, he finds out about it, so he and Rickles, they cattle prod the guy. They take him to a back room and start whacking his hand with a hammer for a bit. And then the buddy didn't get to keep the money. So not exactly like what happened here, but
yeah,
where some agents of heaven just kill you. And when that doesn't work, they destroy your soul into a million pieces. But yeah, it's just gamble within your means, I guess. That's a long-winded way to get there. But
yeah, I wrote moral, fuck if I know. Sin gets you only so far, even if that's pretty damn far. I mean, he makes it pretty far. He seems like he had a decent life once he got the trick cards and the weighted dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but trapping death in a tree that God himself gave you is pretty impressive. And it almost makes you wonder if he could see the future. As I said, it's a very specific request.
Heaven's also not, like, in all of these stories, it's not particularly, it's not even a well-constructed house. It's not even like in the Three Little Pigs, there's the house made of bricks. Like, heaven is always just either the straw house or the sticks house.
Yeah. He's just whacking at it with a stick, and he's like, oh, stop it. You're going to break everything.
That's a bigger stick. That's much better than the sticks that I have on my house right now. Careful, or you're going to crack the walls of heaven, at which point, okay, well, I think. But
it's close enough.
Not a ton of research on this one. I have notes, but which we can go through if you have notes too.
Yeah, I'm not a lot, but yeah, I'm curious to see what you've got.
Yeah. One thing I thought was kind of interesting, God and St. Peter, they meet a gambling addict. They give him $3 and then wonder and send him, like, go to the store that's past the casino. but like, don't go gambling now. And so if you give someone with an addiction, what do you think was going to happen right there?
Right.
It reminds me, you saw Trainspotting, right?
I did.
Okay. Did you ever see the sequel?
I did not.
Okay.
But it's funny you mention it because we're watching Black Mirror with the kids.
Okay.
And we just watched one and I was like, this woman is familiar. It's the girl from Trainspotting.
Okay. The girl, the one that was 15?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the sequel though, it's much later. Yeah. Everyone's grown up. That girl's a lawyer and the only one of them that's doing good.
Good on her.
Renton comes back and he meets Spud, and it is revealed to him what Spud did. Do you remember at the end of Trainspotting, Renton steals all the money from the other guys. It was Begbie and Sick Boy. They do a big
Vaguely.
score, and then Renton steals all the money, but gives 4,000 pounds to Spud of the money.
Yeah,
the 16,000 pounds. He's all like, "Well, what happened to the money I gave you?" He's like, "I spent it on heroin." What? Like, what? You gave $4,000 to a junkie? What did you think was going to happen? I did not go get a girl and treat her right. I just
I did not move out of my parents' flat.
I did not do that. The
Drop a
nobody
note in the
dies.
comments.
Yeah, the nobody dies thing. That felt like a plot in a Sandman comic. I'm not sure if we've seen it yet in Grimm, but I knew that immediately. I think in Sandman that happened once. Like the death.
It's definitely a trope that happens. Yeah, Sandman rings a bell. I feel like it might have been related to that. What you're thinking of?
At least, well, okay. The Sandman one might have been. Now that I'm thinking though, more was okay. Satan quits for a little bit.
Yes.
And then no one goes to hell. So then no, like the people that do die, I think, are just hanging out.
Yeah, Lucifer locks the gates of hell and leaves, and that's sort of. I think that's the origin of the Lucifer TV series too.
Was that part of that
He's
universe?
like, fuck this! I'm gonna go be a nightclub owner on Earth. I didn't watch it, but my wife watched it and loved it, which is weird. That and Agents of Shield, neither of which she knew were comic book series.
Mm-hmm.
Until like well into them. I was like, this is based on a comic book, right?
No, but good writing's good writing.
Here.
I think this is something that we say a lot. The Grimm brothers have a fundamental misunderstanding of Christianity and what superpowers the saints have.
Right.
And next to wolves, the thing that lives most rent-free in these guys' heads, or in all of Germany, is Saint fucking Peter.
He's a dick.
He's a dick. He shows up goddamn everywhere, and he's not doing nothing. He's just wandering around, and then being a fucking stooge.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
Yeah, and that's all he does in this one. He's like, hey God, we should stop this guy. And then, hey God, this guy's still going. We got to get rid of him.
We got.
Just like it sounds like me.
And then this one, he's not even like the head. The Lord is with him. The Lord is walking with him. A walking lie detector test / magic genie. Here's 3 wishes. Not monkey's paws wishes, though. These wishes work really good. No,
straight up.
Which is, I think the same thing happened. Was it last week or the week before? Someone had a wish or 2, and then they were fine. They got a magic knapsack. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, the magic knapsack. But
oh yeah. Oh, yeah, and he sneaks his way into heaven.
Yeah,
by handing Peter the sack through the gate.
Yeah, and then there's the wishes, which are genius. This is when I also start really liking the story. Right, I was like, okay, I see what's going on. Okay,
God's like, you're an okay guy.
Yeah,
tell you what.
Listen, I'm sorry that we gave you $3 and had you walk by the casino, and
in hindsight, that was a dick move.
That was stupid of us. We should have realized what was going to happen. So here's 3 wishes. This is so much better than $3. And his wishes, same thing. The same thing happens. What happens when you give a game with a gambling addict 3 wishes? Give me 2 ways to win a gambling. Give me dice and cards, because those are the only 2 things that anyone plays. But also, just to be prudent, a fruit tree with a bunch of different kinds of fruit, where if need be, I can kind of torture someone by imprisoning them forever. So it's jail if you can convince someone to climb a tree, but it's a magic jail with snacks and no beds.
I don't know if it's just because I have D&D on the brain all the time, but it just seems like some sort of like once per long rest, you can trap someone in the tree.
But then it's going to get to be like Sardines at some point. Which did you ever play Sardines as a kid?
No. What is that?
Okay, so Sardines is like hide and seek, but the opposite. And you have one person hide, and everyone's looking for them. And so if you find that person, though, you start hiding with them.
Oh.
And then the third person also hides. So then the last person who's still left, he's it for the next game that gets to be the first hider.
I don't know why at the age of 48, I've never heard of this game, and it never occurred to me. It sounds really fun.
It is super fun. We used to play it. We used to play it in it was when we all lived in Northampton. We would go. The Smith college girls liked to play it, and it was there was a field somewhere around there that was like perfect for it. That had some old buildings. So that it's called Sardines because then like you get up, one of you gets up in a tree. The hiding place is supposed to be kind of the funnier the better. So if it's like a small area, then everyone's trying to cram into
like a closet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or in a tree like that. So that's how I feel the tree might look after a little while.
Yeah, I could see that.
Anyways, yes. I like when death appears too. I thought
Yeah.
I thought it had a very warriors come out and play. Is Hansel in there? And Hansel's all like, I'll be right there, just zipping up, just watering the plants out here. Don't.
Let me just finish this hand. Hold on.
it's, death is it's just like look over there. That's what Hansel did. He's like, lookest thou that way. I think Hansel's up in the tree there. Oh, I better go up there and get him. And then yes,
Yeah, poor death.
Anyways, that more or less covers my notes.
Yeah, one thing I was gonna say is I read this twice before I realized that the whole like go grab us a loaf of bread. Oh, do you have wine in the basement? Like the whole thing is a sacrament.
Okay.
Metaphor.
Oh shit! I didn't.
It's
even,
like
yeah.
oh yeah, like bread and
screwed
wine
up the sacrament
with fucking God himself.
I need bread. We're gonna save you, boy.
Yeah,
but I need bread to do it.
yeah. And then like one analysis, very brief analysis I was looking at was suggesting that possibly he's a metaphor for Lucifer being cast out of heaven for riling people up and disturbing the peace. But that one was a little flimsy.
Does that imply? I mean, well, you didn't write this theory, but
No.
that was hell already there when the devil was cast out of heaven?
I don't know.
Like, and again, he was barely like barely cast out of heaven, and he keeps going back and returns all the time, just chats up God. But I don't know.
It was like now you got to go run hell, or was Lucifer cast out? And he's like, well, I guess I'll just take up in this plot over here. I'll start my own thing.
I mean, I know it's also just to more the lake of fire sort of idea, just a very hot place as opposed to Dante's version, which is the levels and the this, that, and the other thing. But there really wasn't for a named character, and for what I think is a funny story. There is like nobody seems to care about this one. I didn't find any actual real notes. It wasn't a good. There wasn't a Grimm fairy tale classic about it.
Yeah, really nothing going on.
Luckily for me, though, that makes it easy for my Hollywood pitch.
Yeah, what do you got?
Reboots of anime. I don't think you could get 90 minutes of a movie out of this, but I do think you could, speaking of Grimm, I do think you could get 24 minutes at least, turn this into a tale from Grimm fairy tale classics.
All
and
right.
That's my pitch, sort of, but in fact, it's my big pitch for someone or other, Netflix or something. There were 41 of those tales out of the 211 stories in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just love to pick 24, right? Or something, have two more of things that we would love to write. So update Gorimu Misako Gekiju, Grimm's Fairy Tale Classics. I'd put this one in there, this first story.
All right.
Netflix or Adult Swim, they're only going to give you a season of 10 or 12, but we'll split into two. Of the stories,
I can see that it's not too light, it's not too dark. It's interesting enough to sort of grab for a first watch. I'm down.
And there's some really cool ones that Grimm didn't do.
Yeah.
Which the story of the boy who went forth to learn what fear was.
Yes.
That wasn't a fairy tale classic. The White Snake wasn't. Three Snake Leaves wasn't. And I know you could get a solid 12 to 24 minutes out of any of the story. I mean, we already have pitches for like half of those or most of those, I think.
Oh yeah.
So even if especially if we incorporate our own nonsense, it can and should be done. And that's my elevator pitch, is just fucked up fairy tales for adults, drunken tavern style, original style, but in the style aesthetically of Gorimu Misaku Gekiju. Gekijo. Oh man, yes. I don't know if I apologize to any of our Japanese listeners if I tortured that, but Grimm's Fairy Tale Classics.
Yeah. That's just, your mentioning of that made me think that now I want drunk history, but with drunk Grimms, where we just get funny comedians to get blasted and try to retell Grimm stories from memory, and then have actors acting that out over the narration.
I mean, we could do that ourselves.
Yeah, that's
not
a good
with
point.
Actors, and maybe not us getting drunk, but because I've cut way down on my drinking.
Damn, good for you.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you want.
It is what I want. I'm looking to be more of a social drinker.
Mm.
I don't even know if I super want to do that. So I try not to drink at home. And it's funny, it gets easier the more you don't do it. But
Yeah, it does.
talked about this over the course of these 82 stories, but I digress. If you do not have anything else, and I don't have anything else, I think we can call it on Grimm story number 82, Gambling Hansel. All
Yeah,
right,
I think so.
Okay, well then, students and scholars, friends and relations, until the next time and the next tale, may you dream sweet dreams of today's sponsor, gambling. With or without vagabonds, you'll surely get into heaven with gambling. Sleep tight, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. The Brothers Dim podcast is written by the Brothers Dim. Recording engineering is done by Mike, and sound editing and mastering by Phil. Brothers Dim podcasts are copyrighted by the Brothers Dim and available at brothersdim.com, on Blue Sky at Brothers Dim, and wherever you get your podcasts.